Hey guys, James Wilson-Taylor here for Roxanne. We are backstage at Slam Dunk Festival 2023 and Trophy Eyes are on the lineup. The lads join me now. Gentlemen, how you doing?
Good, thanks, mate.
It's good to see you
Good.
guys.
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
Yeah, good to see you guys. Just diving in. There we go. Slight delay. We'll get it. Good to see you guys. I mean, we're in, obviously, Leeds today. Hatfield yesterday. How was that for you? I mean, you guys, I feel like your crowd will show up for an event like Slam Dunk. You guys are fit for this kind of scene, this kind of crowd. How was that experience for you?
It was a bit of a mess, wasn't it?
Yesterday the show was good, but I mean, getting in was a bit of like a can we swear?
Yeah, you can
It was a shit show.
Okay.
We waited in the line with every as everyone else would have for 2-3 hours, and then we made it to stage as we were supposed to be changing over. So we had 20 minutes to get all of our shit together. So that was kind of stressful, but the show ended up being pretty sick.
Yeah. It worked out well. I think the adrenaline of being showing up and then having to get out, and I was getting changed and warming up, and we were trying to get the shit on stage, and we had to cut a few songs. We had to cut 3 songs, but which is a shame, but it turned out good. Yeah, it was sick. Yeah,
The show was sick. The show was sick.
Yeah,
Which is great.
Yeah, again, I think it's a nice moment as well, because obviously we're kicking off this new era, which we'll get into, and this whole new album and all this stuff. But people have been waiting to see that, people over in the UK especially, we've been waiting to see those new songs kind of get a bit of an airing, right? You gotta be nice to see those fans kind of turn up, and I guess that's the question. What was the reaction like when you're playing some of those new singles that I guess, that must be the first time you played them in the UK, right?
Yeah. It might even be the first time we played Figure 8 in the UK. I'm not sure when the last time we were here, but man, it's crazy to see people care. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's wild. And those songs haven't been out for a long time. Been out for maybe a month or whatever. So for people to already know them and be dancing, and the reaction we got was just it was mind blowing. It's like the same as a home show.
That's nice to hear.
Yeah.
That's definitely nice to hear. You always want something like that. Let's talk about the album then. Of course, Suicide and Sunshine, it's on the way. We've heard a few little tastes in there. Tell me a little bit about it overall, because I feel like things have been building for a while now in a really nice way. It feels like it gets a little bit bigger each time, which is what you always want to see. But also as a songwriter, particularly on that last record, I feel like you guys took a little kind of slightly different directions. We talked about some kind of different influences in there, some slightly different sounds, a little more danceable in a few places in a really nice way. Yeah. How did that then push you on to what we're now going to hear on this next record? What were the learnings from that to push into this one?
I think it's a bit of it's there's a few different aspects as to why we kind of ended up with the sound we ended up at. I was affected by my environment when I was writing The American Dream, because I was living in Texas, and I was listening to a lot of country music, and I was in a small town in Burleson, Texas, and it's as country as it gets, man. That's honky tonk shit. It's fucking crazy, and it's awesome. It's so romantic. The sky turns pink every night, and the bars are all playing Journey and shit. It's just a beautiful place to be. So that really came through my music, because I was living there and I had to express it, so that came through my music. And then, but this time, this was we decided as a band that we were going to kind of disband. We were finished with Trophy Eyes, and we were wrapping up, and we thought we've got to make one last record to say thank you and to do all the things we wish we did before that we haven't done, and naturally it just came together like Trophy Eyes Records used to. It's kind of like an amalgamation of everything we're listening to at the time, and we wrote a lot of it live, in a studio as well. So yeah, I guess that's what you're gonna hear. You're gonna hear a lot more of the members this time, instead of majority one person writing it, and the influences are kind of it's weird, but it's ancestral almost. The influences are Trophy Eyes. It kind of influenced the record, which is weird. Yeah, but yeah, it was just we wanted to write it as a final, we've had a big loop, we've had a big explore, and we want to write our realist record with no pressure from label or no pressure from fans or anything like that. We just sat down and we wrote our most honest take of just our most honest expression, and yeah, that's what the sound. You're gonna hear it. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah. It's interesting you keep using words like final and finality and all this kind of stuff. I mean, does it feel like, if not I mean, where are you at in terms of that? Do you still feel like this is maybe the end of a chapter for you guys musically? Do you feel like end of an era maybe for you guys? Like now that I guess you can go in with that kind of attitude and how you have that thought process when you're making a record, but once it's finished, you're going to look at it very differently, aren't you? I guess, how do you feel about that sort of aspect of things for it?
Me personally, I mean, like we've spoken, and the idea now is to like see how it goes. You know what I mean? If it works really well, then it works really well, and we continue on. But you know, if it doesn't, if our touring dries up, then it's a nice natural end. You know what I mean? It's like a nice like thing. But I don't think that's the case. Like I think we heard the record when we finished it, and we were all just like, oh fuck, like this is pretty damn good. Like we will tour this, and we might write another one now. You know what I mean? So we went in thinking it was kind of the end, but it's definitely not. It's not the end. Yeah.
It's cool. I mean, I kind of like I joined like after the record was finished, so I kind of like got to hear the record as like, you know, I've known the boys for years and like
a lifetime,
like ages.
Yeah.
And I got to hear it as just like someone that enjoys the band anyway, and it's cool. Like it's good, and so I'm just very thankful to like be on this like portion of the journey, or try to sound corny or like whatever.
No,
thing is, but like it's cool, and like, you know, whatever happens. But I'm stoked that I can be a part of whatever this part of Trophy Eyes is. Sick.
Yeah.
It's funny that even if it wasn't intended to end up in this place, but like it's almost a good attitude to have. Like you clearly were thinking at the time, okay, maybe this is going to be the final thing, and let's go with that attitude. In a way, that's almost the best attitude. You always like treat every record like it's your last, man. Like that's how you're going to end up really pushing yourself and getting the best out of yourself. Surely, if you're treating it like, well, maybe we won't ever do this again, let's leave it all on the table, right?
I think my push and motivation normally comes from writing my favorite record when I'm in the studio. Like I go in and I'm like, I want to write my favorite piece of music I've ever heard every time. You know what I mean? And that's hard because you start as a punk band and then you don't like punk anymore, and it's like, or you don't not like punk anymore, but your life changes, and it's not like the be all end all. Be all end all isn't fucking skunk beats.
In like a different way.
Yeah, in a different way, and so that's hard. But this one was much more relaxed. It was like, there was no pressure to be better. It was just like, just make sure there's no stone left unturned. Like, if this closes the book on Trophy Eyes, like, I have to make sure I did everything. Like, everything that I wanted to do, because an opportunity like Trophy Eyes doesn't come around once in a lifetime even. It comes around like once every fucking, 100 lifetimes. Like, what percentage of the world gets to do this? Like, so I just had to make sure that I got the most out of it. I really squeezed that lemon dry, you know what I mean? Like, that's what yeah, but it was more explorative, and it wasn't like, it wasn't like a driving feeling. It wasn't like, get the best out of me. It was more like exploring and enjoying. Yeah, it was much more relaxed, and you can hear it too. Like, everything's just so natural. Yeah. Like, it's so fucking like, you can hear it. It's not like, it's even more relaxed than Chemical Miracle. It sounds.
I mean, it sounds like you guys just made like a record without thinking about it.
Yeah.
It's like, I like this. This is a cool riff, and it's like,
yeah. And then it goes in here. Yeah.
God, that's the dream. The amount of bands that would kill to have that sort of thing. It's like, I've made the riff that would perfectly slot in here. That's worked out rather well. Yeah, that's what we want.
And we had like 2 months to do it. You know what I mean? Like, we wrote like a lot of the music, like maybe like 30 something songs, and like fleshed out ideas before we went over. And then we had 1 month in a small town in Thailand to like pick the songs and write them completely. And then we were like, okay, that's what the album sounds like roughly. Let's go and produce it and track it properly. So then we stopped fucking around, like fluffing around, and we went to Bangkok, and we were like, okay, this is concrete now. Like, this goes down, and the songs like even grew more. Then we were like, whoa, fuck, like that was, yeah. But that was the process, yeah.
Amazing. No, I'm so excited for you guys on this era, man. It seems like it's already connecting super well with your audience, like I say, and to see you guys in a really good place coming out of the back of it's really, really exciting too. So all the best to you guys. Before I let you go and enjoy the rest of your weekend, a question we've been asking absolutely everybody. I feel like this is maybe the most stacked Slam Dunk lineup there's been. Like, it's a really strong lineup for them this year. So with that in mind, are there any artists or any bands on this lineup that you would really, really love to work with? What's the kind of dream collaboration with anyone who's here actually on the lineup this weekend?
I don't actually know who's on it.
I mean, I like Fireworks, like one of my favorite bands, and so like getting to like set up across from them like as they're playing was pretty sick. Like yesterday was obviously a bit of a fuck around, like a bit of a fuck fest. That sucked. But today we like set everything up and just sat on stage and just like sung along. It was just like, it was fucking cool. So
that's
like,
really cool.
I think Fireworks.
That's a great shout. Great shout.
I don't know. Yeah, like I really love Ender Shikari, but I'm not sure if that would, like, what do you mean, like work with, like collaborate with, like make a song with?
Yeah, I mean make a song with, but however you want to interpret that, John.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, my friends, obviously, first and foremost, like Bossa Manor, Movements, Trash Boat, Creeper, like we're all old friends since 2017. Somehow. You know, it was because of Warped Tour. Yeah, Warped Tour 2017.
Of course.
Yeah, and we were all played on the same stage, and it's funny that we're all back here.
Yeah, it's great.
In a big reunion tour. Yeah, dude, it's sick. It's mad. But I'd probably like to collaborate with them, but I don't know. I work with anybody. It doesn't yeah.
Nice.
Ender Shikari's cool, yeah. Wargasm would be fun. Higher Power, dude.
Oh yeah, Higher Power.
Fuck, Higher Power, dude.
They were fresh.
Were they sick? I was asleep in the van. Fuck.
Oh, that was fresh. That was fun.
Yeah, Higher Power's lit. I love those guys, but yeah.
Yeah. Too many choices on this lineup, man. Too many choices. It's a big old weekend. Guys, best of luck with everything. I'm sure we'll catch up around the album and all that good stuff. But yeah, all the best to you till then, all right?
Thank you.
Good to see you guys. Trophy Eyes, everybody.